Um, that's interesting though. Loving the process. Is that I remember reading about like you were having some rough starts trying to get things going where you had a
Yeah.
show, it got canceled, then you had another one that was canceled. Was that the process was kind of what kept you going when those moments where,
Yeah,
you know, it
it started in school. I read this book. Robert Rodriguez wrote a book called Rebel Without a Crew, where one of the things he says in that book was every film student has 10 crappy shorts in them. And the
mm,
faster you get those out, the faster you get to the good stuff. And Chuck Jones has a saying, it takes 1,000 drawings to get to one good drawing.
yep.
And basically what I started realizing was volume. It's about volume of work. The more you do, it's not that it gets easier, it's that you get better,
Mhm.
right? So in film school, I would see my classmates get obsessed with having their first short be, Citizen Kane of animation. And there's a cemetery somewhere in the world with a billion very ambitious, unfinished shorts,
Yeah.
right? And short stories and scripts and paintings. Like ambition kills you early on, right? Because you want
Yeah.
Yeah.
to eat the world with a thing. So what I did was I kind of went the other way and I said, I'm just going to do a ton of shorts. And this one will be about figuring out how to use, dialogue. This one will be about music. This one will be about editing. This one will be about mood. And I'll just get them out of the way. And they will mean nothing to me. They're just little building blocks. So I
Yeah.
get better. So at CalArts, they ask you to do one film a year. I think my first year I did 6, just to get them out
Oh
of the way.
wow.
And by the end, you have this body of work and you go, oh, wow. Not only am I not scared of any of these things, but I know I can do better because I've done it. And so I took that all the way through college. It really did wonders for me. When I when I graduated, I did a student short and I won a student Emmy and I got to go to the Cannes Film Festival. And it was super eye-opening to be told you're a director because you directed a short and it got into film. Like literally, somewhere in Hollywood, some machine said director, click, and what that took was making a thing. And I remember a
Yeah.
director telling me, the only way to become a director is to become a director.
Mm.
And at that
Yeah.
time, I didn't know what he meant. But what he meant was, you gotta direct
You gotta
something.
direct.
Literally, no one's gonna go,
Yeah.
let's give this kid a shot and see if he can direct. Like you gotta give yourself that shot, right? So
True.
at that time, my student show was super sad. It's where the Book of Life came from. Wooden puppet
Mhm.
doll who died on Day of the Dead. They had me at that time. My manager, who I'm still with, assigned me. He said, write a movie about like if you would expand that short. So I wrote Book of Life,
Book of Life.
and he
Mm.
sent me everywhere, and everywhere I got told the same thing. You're just some dumb kid out of school. You sure you won a student Emmy and you went to the Cannes Film Festival, but you need to get more stuff under your belt. And we can't make a movie about dead Mexicans. Like no one wants to see a movie about this. This is weird and macabre. And what do you think? Are you crazy? So and literally, I agreed with them. Right? This is the year 2000. So I'm like, yeah, you guys make movies. You're probably right. And I remember somebody telling me you need to make TV shows before you can make a movie.
Mm.
That's what I did. I went home and I started pitching TV shows. I put a tiny internet cartoon online it took me, I don't know, 2 or 3 months to do. And I got 20,000 views in one night, which, in the year 2000 is like 2 million views today.
Yeah.
I had done an internship at Sony. And so they called me up and said, we love your internet cartoon. We didn't know you could do this. And I'm like, well, 3 months ago, I didn't know I could do this. So we want to buy 20 of these, and good news, you get to write them, direct them, voice them, animate them, do the sound design, do the background. And I was like, wow, this is like film school, but they pay you.
Nice. Nice.
So that was it. I was off to the
Nice.
races, and we worked really hard on those. And again, every time I was like, wow, they're paying me to get better. This is crazy. They canceled the division. Sony Pictures had a entertainment division for the internet. It was way too
Mm.
early, so not enough people had broadband. So
Yeah.
they
Right.
shut it down. And I remember thinking, wow, I just spent a year here basically getting paid to get better.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like people were crying and angry and really upset. And I think I was the only guy there who was like, thank you so much for this opportunity. And again, very naive. I was like, well, if I could sell a little in a cartoon, how hard would it be to sell a TV show?
Real one, yeah.
So I started pitching TV shows everywhere. And I was the guy who, when he got rejected in the room, I would go, all right, I know you guys don't like my idea. Can you give me tips on how to make this idea better? Or what in my pitch threw you off or did you not like? And most development people brush me off, but a lot of them were like, you know what? I'm going to tell you because this is going to help you. And maybe one day you can pitch me something that is exactly what we need. And sure enough, I became friends with a lot of development people. I became friends with all the assistants because, as you know, that's who ends up running places eventually.
Right.
So I was pretty smart about stuff like that. And I ended up doing 3 pilots, Disney, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, and then Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, we did El Tigre, and that's the one that got picked up. And same thing. It was one of those, like, I know they're making stuff, and I know the numbers are against me, but if I don't play the lottery, I'm not going to win.
True.
So I'm going to jump in.
Right.
And wow, honestly, back then, it was like, I'm the only Latino making stuff about Latino culture.
Yeah.
And I would run into other creators, and they were like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to scare the white people. I'm like,
But fact. Somebody had to do it.